Moxie, Greg, and I are riding around the world to raise $100,000 for the nonprofit Girl Up. We're donating 10% of RUFFLY sales to the fundraiser and posting a new episode every week. It's a big dog on two wheels adventure for girls' empowerment. So follow along and please lend your support. Hi guys, remember in the last episode I said goodbye to Moxie Thumper and I got my new Luna Laguna. But while we were waiting for Luna Laguna to come from Missouri to California, we decided to have a little adventure and gave Moxie Thumper her swan song.
So after a few days of work in the LA area, we are back on the road.
Oh, okay. One being beast.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It does.
It feels heavy.
And this little segment of trip is going to be a little bit different because we are being joined by my dad. And I know how exciting that sounds, but trust me, it's going to be. My dad is not a rider. He rode his uncle's dirt bike in high school around town back when that's the thing you could do without any consequences.
We had been wanting to do this trip for a while with Greg's dad on some sort of vehicle that wasn't a car. And the motorcycle, the two-wheeled motorcycle, just the timing didn't work out in order to get the licensing and all of that. But the Can-Am in California, you don't need a motorcycle's license to ride it. And so he ended up renting one.
So we are basically testing the theory that someone who is really generally a newbie and at the very least has not ridden in probably 30 or 40 years, 30 years, 35 years, can hop on a Can-Am, do a little refresher, and get going.
Let me show you how to turn it on.
Okay.
Because sometimes,
A little bit different. Than
yeah, it is a little different. So
okay.
that's your kill switch. You hit the button there. I'll kind of wait a second. This screen will come up before operating, hit the safety car. So you hit the mode button.
Yeah. Okay,
So that's when it's cold. And then you'll just hit start right here. I hold it down for a little bit. She's on. So right now you got it in neutral. Okay, so reverse. So yeah, give it a little.
You got the brake? There you go.
There you go. That's it. I know, huh?
And so it's a three-wheeled motorcycle. It is like very luxurious. It has all of the high-end features. It is a very cool thing. I think he's really going to enjoy it. He did his practice ride up and down the street. Was able to shift into second. It's like semi-automatic, so it like auto shifts down. So it's going to be really nice for him.
Right here, you'll see a little arrow, and it'll let you know when it's time to shift. And it makes it so much easier. And also, you have cruise control as well.
He showed me all the gadgets on the motorcycle, cruise control, the hand warmers, the butt warmers, the foot brake, the paddle shifter. To my pleasant surprise, there was no clutch needed in driving and riding this vehicle.
The first part of the day will take us through high-speed desert highways, but later in the day we will be hitting the twisties as we get into Sequoia National Forest. So that's the plan. We're going into the Sierras. We are going there to do some great riding, and we are also going there to do some hopefully great and successful fishing.
Challenge? It is freezing. There is a cold front coming through California, and it is going to get to -6 is the low in Ponderosa. And we're at elevation there. In Kernville, it's going to be like 4 degrees.
Just a quick time out to tell you how you can support the GoRUFFLY Around the World adventure for Girl Up. You can donate directly to Girl Up at GoRuffly.com/world-adventure. You can make a purchase at GoRuffly.com where 10% goes towards the fundraiser. Tell all your friends and family about it. And of course, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much. Now back to the adventure.
Greg and Jess were nice enough to allow me to take the streets for quite a ways to get used to riding. And when we got on the highway, it was again a little nerve-wracking because I'm trying to keep up with Jess, and Jess is just leaving me in the dust. And I keep looking down at the speedometer, and it's 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, and my hands were gripping a little tighter on the handlebars.
What do I believe? What makes me feel it to write you this song? 2 hours a day, 5 months in a year. Oh, I loved you too long.
It's sunny, it's dry, it's windy, so it's time to bomb the schnauze.
Keep holding you in. I keep asking myself, oh, why do you still hurt? Why do you still hurt? Who's wrong and who's right? I cannot decide, 'cause I'm sober tonight. I cannot escape. I'm here till it breaks. Oh, how my heart aches. You keep blowing me out, I keep holding you in. I keep asking myself, oh, why do you still hurt? Why do you still hurt?
The wind has been absolutely brutal all afternoon. We've had a number of hours of hard riding and just crosswinds and face winds and not enough tailwinds. And yeah, it's cold. It's cold and it's windy and it's really kicking us in the nads, and the wind is kicking us in the face. And we are only going up in elevation at this point. That means 20 or 30 minutes more of getting kicked in the nads and the face by the conditions.
You keep blowing me out, I keep holding you in. I keep asking myself, oh, why do you still hurt? Why do you still hurt? Why do you still?
Success on our first day with my dad in the Can-Am. We are at the Kern Riverfront Lodge in Kernville, at the Kern River, near Lake Isabella. Yeah. It is windy as. Not that bad right here. It's okay, but windy AF pretty much everywhere else. And that makes what is not such bad cold feel like really bad cold, because it just bites at you. Tomorrow is supposed to be cold. And the deal is this: on a trip, we generally don't, book anything more than a day or so in advance. But because we were in LA and we planned this with my dad, we booked a few things. The problem is, as we got closer to the date, we checked the weather and basically found that there is a cold front that is coming through. So for standing in the river and fly fishing, that's gonna be pretty brutal. But what's booked is booked, and what's planned is planned, and so we're in it. And that's a good reason why on a moto trip you generally don't plan and book ahead, because if we hadn't done that, we just would have gone to like Death Valley or something different that would ordinarily be too hot, but now would be nice.
I was apprehensive coming into this, and then apprehensive when I got there, because I haven't been on a motorcycle since my teens. I did okay keeping up with Jess, and of course Greg was right behind me, making sure I didn't fall off. But now I'm looking forward to relaxing for the evening, getting a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow we're off to do a little fishing.
Moxie, are you tasting the local fare?
It was a difficult stretch, the last part of it, mainly because my bike really started acting up. So I have this thing where it's difficult to switch from first to second gear. It's like it like gets stuck in the middle, or it'll get up there and it'll slide right back down. So I was really struggling with that when we were going through some of the slower sections. The other thing that was happening was the headwind was coming at us, and I was in fifth gear and I was getting nowhere. I dropped down to fourth, and it did this weird thing where it gave some power but not enough. That issue with the speed, that's the first time that I've ever had that. It definitely is doing that thing where it's not staying in idle, it's just turning off on me. Turning off in neutral, turning off even with clutch in first gear. It's turning off. It's gonna last, I hope, for the rest of this trip, but there really is something wrong with my motorcycle.
One of the hardest things of riding in variable conditions is dressing for the ride you are going to have.
What do you do when it's 4 degrees outside? You stay in bed and you do some work.
So right now in Kernville, it is what, in the upper 60s? I mean, it is warm in the sun. But we are going up into elevation, and we know from the weather report that it will be a lot colder, as in close to 0. And so you really don't want to start your ride being perfectly comfortable for the conditions here, and then within minutes you're going up and then you start to get cold. And then the problem is you just started your ride. You don't want to have to pull over 10 minutes, 15 minutes into your ride to start putting on layers. And so then you kind of push it. Well, I'm going to go a little further, and now I can't find a turnoff because it's in a mountain windy road. And by the time you actually pull over, it is freezing cold. Your fingers are numb. You're shaking and rattling everywhere from the cold, and you did it wrong.
Under the palm trees in the California sun.
We're getting our fishing stuff ready. We are here at the Kern River. It looks like a pretty secure parking area. We've got all 3 of the helmets. They're tied here by a chain. And Moxie's K9 Moto cockpit is here being used as a flatbed. Greg and his dad are going to be doing fly fishing. I am going to be doing
Bait fishing.
Bait fishing. The guys will be here in the river, but I have a nice spot set for me just a little bit over here. We're at like the hydroelectric dam, or the power plant.
It's been set for you. We called ahead. We said, hey, fish, this is the spot. It's set. Everybody know their jobs.
So we're trout
Start
fishing.
biting now.
Greg and I are always in competition, you know. So we know that I'm going to catch something first today.
And now my mind is a mess. My heart is pounding fast.
I haven't had a bite yet, but I lost a couple of bait. So now I am trying again. I think it's going to be positive. I think I am going to be the first one to catch something today. And Greg is going to suffer. And we're going to eat my nice big trout that I catch in our mostitarian lifestyle.
They're heading down to the favorite watering hole
Yeah.
by the power plant.
So this spot is our secret spot that everybody knows about. The water kind of comes in and has this swirl effect based on the turbines and everything. And so it creates this really great area where like it disturbs the water and the food kind of backs up and the fish just wait there and feed and get really big and fat. It's not necessarily great for fly fishing because they stay low and they just, you know, pull at that food that comes in. But for Jess, who's bait fishing, it's great. And she says that they're jumping, which is
That's a good sign.
a text message that I just received, which is again how technology has gotten into everything that we do, but potentially in this case for the better because we were down there, lower down on the river and not getting any bites. So let's see.
So far, Greg and I have gotten skunked, both of us. I thought that I was going to be the winner here. I had a bite. I had 2 on 1. So that at least is something. We'll see what Greg says when he comes in from the cold water, if he had any bites at all. But we are still seeing them jumping, so they are out there. We just, we don't have the right things for them, I guess.
All right, well, we have gotten skunked this morning and into the early afternoon. Jessica did also get skunked. She got a bite. A bite counts.
I had a bite. A bite counts. That I wasn't skunked means that there actually was something in there that liked what I had.
And decided against it, or that you, even worse.
Or I was just a bad fisher lady.
Yeah, you weren't able to bring it in. So basically you got skunked.
Well, we're gonna try again.
We're gonna go to another spot that maybe has something different to offer us. So I am going in the way oversized waders. I'm just gonna ride this way. So not all is lost or over, but the power plant basically has let us down. And so
Twice in a
we're moving
row.
on. Yeah.
Twice in a row. Last time we were here, last time I didn't get skunked either. I had like 3 bites.
Well, that's still skunking.
No.
Definitely skunked.
Take 2 with the fishing. Now we're gonna be trying out this nice spot here. We've actually been here before a number of years ago. and we're gonna try it again. Hopefully we'll be able to get something.
Greg's taking a shot at a new spot. We went up the river ways, and looks like he's got his fly casting technique down pretty well. Nice loops, good distance. Fly hits the water all by itself. And he looks like he's in a great spot, but you never know. Fish are finicky.
It is getting chilly. It's sort of our foreshadow casting is what we call it. It's foreshadow casting the fact that it is going to be freezing when we get to Ponderosa. But we're gonna enjoy the next hour or so here, and then we're gonna head off. It's gotten cold. We're wearing all of our gear. I can't even like zip up my jacket all the way just for all of my layers. Well, somehow.
More or less, but you're gonna get like, this is a vulnerability. You are vulnerable right here. This is your weak point. And the climate, the weather will exploit it.
Well, I have my heated vest on.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to turn that thing on. I'm heating. This is the warm-up phase. It's red.
Moxie's really sleepy. She's ready to get to our next place to sleep for the night.
Yeah, so are we, but we got a ride to do first. Yeah, good times.
Save a kiss, pretty please. Try to reminisce over me. Know that I will cherish your memory. Oh, I used to see colors, now it's gray. Till I met you at the concert the other day.
Motorcyclist and fisher lady.
Sunny rays. Tonight will turn minutes into days. And nothing's gonna make me look away.
2 degrees. My dashboard is flashing at me. Basically a WTF of why the fuck outside. Also, we were just stopped to admire the view and we have some camera batteries. And Jess is afraid to turn off the light because all the stalling issues. And of course, then you think there's so long that a temperature warning goes off. So, moving now. Hopefully that can cool her light down a little bit. It is really a race against time and distance to see if this flight wants to survive this hopefully last trial of this long and distinguished travel with us.
Lover or friend. Real or pretend. However we end. Tonight will turn minutes into days.
Just as we pulled into Ponderosa, my dash started flashing 0 degrees. So that's what we're in. 0. It is literally freezing here.
Tonight will turn minutes, however we end. Tonight will turn minutes into days.
I didn't think that I would see snow on Moxie's cockpit for quite a while, and now I'm getting little snow flurries. It's cold, it's about 0, but there's no wind, and it's just very calm here. A few woodpeckers, some other creatures, but it's really lovely.
Jess, what is the Airbnb slash cell coverage crisis that we are in right now?
It has a key code on the door, and I imagine it's sitting in my Airbnb instructions to get in. I see the button to click, I click it, but I have no connection to actually come.
So it is freezing and we're locked out and we don't have connection. So we're going to the general store to see if they have connection. Otherwise there's a bed and breakfast and we're gonna try that next. And the third option is that I will have to ride somewhere until there is coverage. That is my least favorite of the three options. It's closed. Not happening. All right, option number 2. Please work for us.
Tomorrow we have to go to Springville because Greg has an appointment at the post office to get all of his documents for his passport ready. So the reason why we have to do this is because Greg has a damaged passport. His passport was in his riding jacket and he gave it to the laundry for washing, and now it has water damage all over it. So you can't do a renewal with a damaged passport. You have to go through the whole process all over again as if it's a brand new passport, which means that you need proof of your citizenship, which is your birth certificate. And so where was his birth certificate? In Guatemala. How did we get it? By FedEx.
I read once that German Shepherds can really sort of handle down to minus 15 degrees, whereas Huskies can go like down to minus 25 or something like that. So hopefully that means that she will be able to handle this cold we're gonna face as we go down to Springville this morning.
Are you in second?
All right, go.
You're in second?
Yeah.
Hi guys, thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the episode. The Can-AM was a really cool experience. It gave Greg's dad a way to come along with us on part of our adventure, to see what it's like, how we travel, what it's like with the dog, and he was able to do it on 3 wheels. And I know there are people out there who think that like 3 wheels are not motorcycles and it has to be 2 wheels. Look, I don't need to get into all of that, but the Can-Am was great for him, somebody who doesn't have a motorcycle license, and somebody who hasn't ridden in years. So it was a really stable machine, and it had like all these bells and whistles. He had like heated seats, he had the cruise control, he had all of this stuff. So for him, it was a nice sort of way to sort of get introduced into the sport of riding, and he really loved it. It was cool to sort of see him riding through sort of the conditions that we're used to riding in as motorcyclists. So when it was really windy out, he was being pushed around by the wind and in the freezing cold temperatures, and just experiencing those temperature drops and climbs as we go through the different terrain. So for him, this was a great like introduction into riding again. And I don't know if he'll end up getting a Can-Am or what his situation is going to be, but I'm glad he was able to experience it with us. For us, it was really fun to see the Can-Am Spyder in person and to try it out, because we do have a lot of canine moto cockpit riders who now ride with their big dogs on the back of their Can-Ams. So we took the Can-Am out for a spin. We're able to see sort of how it handles, what it feels like. And again, it just reinforces the fact that the Can-Am is a great platform for the K9 Moto Cockpit. So if you do have a Can-Am and you want to ride with your big dog, you need to check us out. Of course, Moxie Thumper had to have an issue on our last trip together. You saw at the end of the episode that she just wouldn't start anymore. We tried a bunch of different things. We mentioned in previous episodes that we had some options, like getting a U-Haul or a tow truck if this were to happen. So you'll have to tune in to next Sunday's episode to see how we sorted this issue. It wasn't fun. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to us here on YouTube and at GoRUFFLY for Facebook and Instagram to get all of the updates. Talk to you soon.